Good evening, good evening, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is your Realtor Hugo, licensed in Maryland with Long and Foster. As always, it is my pleasure to make your acquaintance and teach you a little bit more about real estate every day. So, today on the Daily Real Estate Live, we're going to be mastering offers and counter offers, your guide to smooth negotiations. And that is truly what we want to have. We want to have a smooth transaction from start to end, contract to close, as some would say. Number one for today, understanding the offer. When you find a house you love, make an offer. Making an offer is the first step. This is a written proposal showing how much you're willing to pay and any conditions you may have. Make sure your offer is strong but reasonable based on the comparable homes in the area. You want to look for apples to apples, oranges to oranges. If it has a pool, compare it to one that has a pool. If it has a farmland, compare it to one that has a farmland. You don't want to look at this area, look at that home, and then try to juxtapose the value from that. No, you also want to limit your area of what homes you're comparing to probably less than a mile. And look at the homes that have sold recently because prices have changed so dramatically in the last few years. It can really make a big difference as to what happened in that particular area. With your real estate professional or realtor, you want to make sure that you're researching the market, being realistic with your offer, and including contingencies like a home inspection or financing contingency to make sure that you're protecting yourself from purchasing a property that might be more costly than you initially anticipated. Number two, the role of the realtor. Your realtor is your best friend during negotiations. They have the expertise to guide you through the process, suggest a competitive offer, and communicate effectively with the seller's agent. And it's probably the latter of all of those statements that matters the most. The buying agent should be your representative and your megaphone, voicing your best interest and intention at heart. So, we want to make sure that we're working with professionals that are well regarded in the industry, that have experience, and that are knowledgeable, that you feel comfortable with and are listening to your needs. That is truly the sign of a very good realtor, at least has that at their core. They're a very good listener. So trust your realtor's advice. Realtors know how to navigate tricky situations and they keep the process professional and smooth. Sometimes emotions can get wrapped up in the whole process and it can get really scary, for lack of a better term. We are here to help you with the anxiety and the stress of this transaction. And we're here to take away some of the fear of it too. So don't fear, rely on your realtor. That's what they're there for. That's what they've studied for. And that's what, more than anything, you want to make sure that you are on the same page with. Number three, making a strong offer. A strong offer isn't just about the price. It includes favorable terms for the seller, like a quick closing date or a larger earnest money deposit. Now, the earnest money deposit is kind of a security deposit. It's the initial kind of money that you put out there when you're making an offer. And basically, if you break the contract, you could potentially lose that money. So it serves as collateral for the transaction. Usually a higher deposit, a higher EMD, it's another way to call it. It means that you're more serious because remember, you're going to lose that money if you break the contract. So we see it all the time. People lose thousands of dollars and they just walk away. So some people have it like that. And it's just that type of situation for them. But we want to protect your money as much as possible. So knowing about your security deposit and your earnest money deposit is probably a very key thing to look at when you're looking for your strongest offer. It shows the seller you're serious and really ready to commit. Offer terms that appeal to the seller are probably terms that are quickest and fastest, making sure to take the advantage of how fast you can close your loan, and that really can make a difference when it comes to a competitive market. Be flexible where you can. When can you settle? Can you settle sooner? Can you settle later? These are all things that be great to have in the forefront of your mind. A strong offer can sometimes beat a higher, and that's something that a lot of people underestimate, that sometimes the highest offer doesn't necessarily always win out. There is something to the fact of writing a clear and clean offer. Offers that have no contingencies are very strong, even if they're not all cash. So don't feel intimidated when it comes to those moments when you're in the heat of battle trying to get this property. You're out there trying to win. So make your best offer the first offer you put out there. Number four, the counteroffer process. If the seller likes your offer but wants to adjust some terms, they'll send a counteroffer. This is normal. Don't be discouraged. It's just a chance to fine tune the deal so it works for both parties. They'll usually be very clear about what they're looking for in return, and they'll usually let you know their expectations. Expect counteroffers, review changes carefully, and decide what's negotiable and what's a deal breaker. Stick to your guns. If you have a deal breaker that's non negotiable, it's for a reason. And probably sure you're going to be kicking yourself later on if you happen to compromise too much. I think that's where really more than anything people feel taken advantage of when they get something that they feel like may have not lived up to their expectations. No one wants to feel sold, and that really can sit poorly with some people. So, we don't want you to feel that way. We want you to know exactly what's going on. So, reading the changes and reviewing everything and the negotiables and non negotiables that you have, knowing those will make sure that we're not getting into a deal you're ultimately going to be unhappy with. Number five, responding to counteroffers. When you receive a counteroffer, review it with your realtor. Discuss the changes and decide if you agree. Want to counter back or reject it? Remember, it's a conversation and you're trying to find a middle ground. So these are all acceptable things to do as well. So do not be afraid to just walk away. Sometimes that can be the solution. But remember, it is a competitive market and there will be a buyer for most homes. So take that with a grain of salt. Communicate openly with your realtor, be clear about your priorities, and stay calm and professional. Remember, getting emotional about this type of transaction isn't going to be healthy or good for you. It doesn't help the whole situation, and it can really just hurt your mental peace and your peace of mind. We don't want that. Remember, a smooth, comfortable transaction. Negotiation strategies for number six. Effective negotiation requires strategy. Be prepared to compromise on less critical terms and issues to get what you really want, which is the home. Don't forget that. Times offering non monetary benefits like a flexible move in date can make a big difference. Also, offering a rent back or allowing the seller some leeway when they move out, those are all great bargaining chips in this great game of real estate. Prioritize your must haves, be ready to give and take, and creative solutions can lead to win wins. During lockdown, we saw people offering to cater meals and do a whole bunch of stuff for people. So, really, it's about getting the home. And if sandwiches are gonna seal the deal, then I will buy all the pot bellies that you could eat. If it's gonna mean they we're gonna go to close. Number seven, keeping emotions in check. It's easy to get emotional during negotiations, but try to stay calm. It's not personal. It's all business. Focus on your end goal, getting the home you want at a fair price. Your realtor is there to handle the tough conversations for you. Talk to them, communicate with them, be in line with them, and that way you aren't being blindsided by this stuff. Stay level headed, let your realtor lead, and keep your eyes on the prize. Make sure that you're setting yourself up to win by asking the right questions that matter to you. Knowing when to stay away. Number eight, sometimes despite your best efforts, the deal doesn't work out. It's okay to walk away if the terms aren't right. There will always be other homes, and your perfect match is out there somewhere. Now, don't just drop everything and walk away. As always, you should be working with a realtor, you should be working with a real estate professional if you're not working with me. But you should be at a point in the transaction where you can safely walk away and still keep your earnest money deposit. There are several points where you can do that and you can make sure that you're not losing money. No one wants to lose money on a house they're not going to buy. It just doesn't make sense to do that. So don't settle for unfavorable terms. Trust that more opportunities will come. Your realtor can help you find other options. You just got to be flexible. And remember, the real estate game is a game of getting into it early and often. So the sooner you get into a property, the longer it builds equity and the more equity you build. Remember, it's just like stocks. You're in it for the long haul, not for the short term. Number 9, sealing the deal. Once you agree on terms, it's time to finalize the deal. This involves signing the purchase agreement and setting up escrow. Your realtor and lender will guide you through the remaining steps until closing day. Celebrate your new home. That's really the long and the short of sealing the deal. It used to be a lot more pomp and circumstance in the sense that you used to have everybody come to the table and buyers and sellers would meet there, and it could be very drama filled the way it used to be before. It used to be very commonplace, but now with closings and separate closings, it can be done over a couple of days with the convenience of anybody without leaving their homes. So it's truly an interesting and amazing time to be alive and to be a realtor. I feel very lucky and proud to be a realtor and during this era of our lives. Number 10, last one for today, post negotiation steps. After the negotiation, stay on top of the closing process, complete any remaining inspections, finalize your mortgage, and start planning your move. Before you know it, you'll have the keys to your new home. And that's what it's about. It's really about growing a profile. First home is the hardest, but if we could do the first home correctly, keep you winning, keep you living underneath your budget, and keep you progressing forward in the sense that you're just collecting these wins. I don't know too many people that have ticked off these boxes. And it's almost, to some, it's getting to the point of almost ultra rich to be able to afford a home. But I want you to really understand that this is possible. We can all purchase homes. We just have to change a little bit about what our expectations are and start playing the game correctly, and playing the game to win. You really have to take charge and seize the day if you're going to really progress forward. So I really do wish you all the best of luck when it comes to your negotiations and your offers and counter offers. If you're just joining us this evening, we are talking about offers and counter offers, navigating the negotiation process, and some things to know. If you have questions about real estate and want more personalized attention to your particular case, my name is Hugo Quintanilla. I'm a licensed realtor in Maryland with Long and Foster, and my phone number is 240-389-4846. My email is hugo@lnf.com, and my website is yourrealtorhugo.com. Also, feel free and check out my bio site /your realtor Hugo for all my most popular links, I guess, are those, and check them out. See what else is up there. All my latest and greatest details are there, so feel free and check that out. As always, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to be your realtor Hugo day here for the Daily Real Estate Live. Thank you so much for participating and for the feedback. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you everyone for dropping by. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And lesson for tomorrow: closing the deal. Final steps for first-time home buyers. Have a great night. Get some rest. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.